Hello students. Today we are going to study about data. Most of the programs we have created till now, they all are transient. That means we are running them and after that whatever the output is produced that disappears. Okay. Maximum what we do we copy paste and we make a file. Nothing more than that. Again if we are running the program it will start from initial position only. Why this happens? Because whatever the data entered is executed inside the RAM, and we all know that RAM is volatile. Okay, so basically in real life situation the program has to maintain a data because whatever the programs are being written they are to operate on some data. So one of the simplest ways for programs to maintain the data is by reading and writing into the files which are stored on the hard disk. Of course, there are some different ways. For example, database is there, okay, but they are a little bit of a higher level. At lowest level, the data can be managed in the form of data files. So, what is a file? A file or a data file is a named place on the disk where a sequence of related data is stored. In Python, the files are simply stream of data so that the structure of data is not stored along with the data. Now this makes it a little bit different from the other programming languages where the structure is also stored along with the data. What are the basic operations which are performed on files? That is opening a file, reading data from the file, writing data into the file, closing a file. Now, with these file operations, we can create a file, we can traverse a file for displaying the data on the screen, we can append the data in the file, we can insert data in the file, we can delete the data from the file, we can create a copy of the file, we can update the data in the file. So these are the operations which can be performed in a file. Now we are going to look at the type of files. There are two types of files. The first one is a text file. A text file is usually considered as a sequence of lines. Line is a sequence of characters. Which type of characters? Normally ASCII characters, but Unicode can also be supported. Okay, so it is stored on a permanent storage media. Each line is terminated by a special character known as EOL, that is end of line. Python recognizes \n and \r as the end of line characters. The text files are stored in human readable form and they can also be created using any text editor, and we can read them with the help of text editor, as we are going to see when we are going to the programming section. Next is the binary files. A binary file contains arbitrary binary data, that is numbers which are stored in a file. It can be used for numerical operations. So basically when we are working on binary file, we have to interpret the raw bit pattern which is read from the file into correct type of data in our program. Okay. Now we must know what is the pattern of data, then only we can read it correctly. Right. So it is very much important. Now we are going to see what are the steps in file handling. The first step is opening a file. Then we have to perform whatever the reading or the writing operations. Then we have to close the file. Closing of file is equally important as the opening of file. Now, how to open a file? The file is opened with the use of the open function. Okay. So to handle the data files, first of all, we need to have a file object, which is created by using the open function. The syntax is file object equal to open, file name, access mode and buffering type. So we can see that three parameters are passed to the open function. The first one is the file name. This file name is a string value that contains the name of the file that you want to access. It is a string value. That means it must be contained in quotes, either single or double or maybe triple, whatever the quotes you like. The next parameter is the access mode. The access mode determines how you are going to open the file. That means whether you want to read, write or append. This is an optional parameter and the default access mode is read. That means if we are not providing any access mode, then by default the file will be opening in reading mode only. The next parameter, also optional, is buffering. So if the buffering is set to 0, then there won't be any buffering. If the buffering value is 1, line buffering will be performed. Okay. So if you are giving value as greater than 1, then the buffering action will be performed with the indicated buffer size. That means whatever value you are giving, that will be the size of the buffer. If negative, then by default whatever is the system behavior, that will be the default value. Now what are the different file opening modes? Okay, so these are all the file opening modes. The first one is R mode, that opens a file for reading only. The file pointer is placed as the beginning of the file. Okay, what is the file pointer? The file pointer manages the location of the currently read byte. Okay, that means the next reading operation or the next writing operation will be performed where we have the file pointer. So when we are using R mode, that means we are opening the file for reading only. Okay, the file pointer will be placed at the beginning of the file. Second one is RB. If we want to open the file in a binary format, then we have to use RB. Again, the file pointer is placed at the beginning of the file. R plus. R plus opens the file for both reading as well as writing. Again, the file pointer is placed at the beginning of the file. Remember, if R plus mode we are using and the file does not exist, in that case file not found error will be generated. Next is RB plus. RB plus opens a file for both reading as well as writing in binary. Again, the file pointer will be placed at the beginning of the file. The next mode is W. W opens the file for writing only. Please note one important point, that is, it will overwrite if the file exists. If the file does not exist, the file will be created, but if the file is present in the disk, that file will be overwritten. So we have to be very, very careful. Similar to W is the WB, which opens the file for writing only in the binary format. It overwrites the file, again same thing for the binary. That means if at all file is present, it will be overwritten. Okay, if it is not, then it will be created. W plus, it will open the file for both writing as well as reading. Okay, now if the file exists, it will be overwritten. If it does not exist, it will be created. There is a difference between R plus and W plus. What is that? If the file is present, then R plus will open for reading and writing. W plus will overwrite the existing file. If the file is not present, R plus will give error, whereas if the file is not found, W plus will create a file. The next mode is the WB plus. So it is similar to the previous one. The only thing is binary reading as well as writing. The next mode is A, that is append mode. Now the file pointer will be at the end of the file if the file exists. Okay. So if the file does not exist, then it creates the new file for writing. Next is AB. It opens the file for appending in a binary format. Again, the file pointer will be at the end of the file if the file exists. Otherwise, if the file does not exist, a new file will be created. The next mode is A plus, which will open the file both for appending as well as reading. Again, if the file exists, the pointer will be at the end of the file. Otherwise, a new file will be generated. AB plus, it opens a file for both appending and reading in binary format. The file pointer is at the end of the file if the file exists. Otherwise, it will create a new file. Now, how to open a file? So, we have to give the command file object equal to open file name comma mode. Normally, we don't give the buffering. Buffering we let the system to handle. For example, my file equal to open story.txt comma r. Please understand this statement. Here, my file is the file object which is being attached to the file named as story.txt, and the file is being opened in the read mode. The file must reside in the same path where the .py file or the Python file is present. Otherwise, we have to give the complete path. Otherwise, file not found error will occur. So, let us say that the file is stored in e:/files. Then there are three different ways in which we can open the file. First one is my file equal to open e:/ /files /file name. Now, why we are using this /? Because whatever precedes with a backslash is considered as an escape sequence. So, to write backslash, we have to use /. There are of course other ways also. The next one is, if we want to use a single backslash only, then what we have to do? We have to precede the file path by R. This opens the file as a raw string. But there is another way also where we don't use the backslash, but we can use the forward slash. And I personally prefer to use the forward slash. The files can be used by using the with keyword. The syntax is with open file name as file handle followed by a colon and then followed by the file handling statements. Okay. The advantage of opening the files using the with is that automatically the file will be closed after this block is over. What happens when we are not closing the file properly, then the data which we want to write is not written. Okay, many times it happens during the starting of the programming that we forget to close the file. So if we don't close the file, then the file data may be lost, and moreover the file will not be available for other programs. Okay. Now there are some file object attributes. File.closed, it returns true if file is closed, otherwise its value will be false. File.mode, it will return the access mode by which the file was opened, and file.name, it will return the name of the file. Here file is the handle. Now the close method. So file.close, this method is used to close the file. What it does, it flushes any unwritten information and closes the file object, after which no more writing or reading can be done with the file. It is a good practice to close the file so that the file may be used for other operations, and whatever the data is not written, that is also written. So the syntax is file object dot close. Now this video will be divided into 3 volumes. In the first volume, we are going to see only the text file handling. In the second volume, we will be seeing how to use the binary files, and in the third video, we are going to see how to use the comma separated values, that is the CSV files. So we will see how to open the text files, how to read the text files, how to write into the text files, finally how to close the files. Already we have discussed about how to open the files. Okay, now we are going to see how to read the files. There are 3 different methods for reading the data from the file. The first one is read line. The read line function will return a line which will be read as a string from the file. The first call will return the first line, second call obviously the next line, and so on. Now one more important thing. Okay, a line is terminated as \n. Okay, so the read line will read a line up to the \n, that is the EOL character or the new line character, right? But this character will also be read and it will be postfixed in the string. That means the last character of the string will be the new line character. Okay, so that thing we have to keep in mind when we are printing the file, because by default the print statement also has a line ending parameter, line ending value as \n. Okay, so if we are not changing that one, then what will be the effect? We will be getting 2 line spaces instead of 1. When the file is completely read, read line will return an empty string. So the syntax is file object dot read line. Now it is going to return a string, so the usage will be as x equal to file.readline or print file.readline. For reading the entire file using readline, we have to loop over. The next method is the read lines. The read lines method, it will read the complete file. Entire content of the file will be read and it will be stored in the form of a list of strings, each string separated by \n. We have to be very careful when we are using it, because it will read the entire file, so your list will be very huge one. So if your file is extremely large, it is not advised to open the file with read lines. Again the syntax is file object dot read lines. Okay, example. So first we have created lines equal to a blank list. Then we are writing lines equal to file dot read lines. So the entire line, entire file will be read in this list. This is also, that is called the read method. This read method can be used to read specific size string from the file. That means whatever parameter we provide in the in the parenthesis of the read function, that many bytes will be read from the file. At the end of the file, again empty string will be returned. So the syntax is like file object dot read bracket size. Now here size specifies how many bytes are to be read. If this value is not given, then again the entire file will be read. Now we see that with the read lines as well as with the read function, if you are not specifying any parameter, then the entire file is going to be read. So what is the essential difference between these two methods? The essential difference between these two is that the read will store in the form of a string, whereas the read lines will store in the form of list of strings. Okay. The next is writing in the text file. For writing in the text file, we are having two methods. The first method is the write method. So the write method is used to write a string at a time. That means one string we can write at a time. Okay. The write method can only be used to write a string. That means if you want to write any number, then that number has to be converted into string data type. So example, you can see, first of all we have to open a file with W as the writing as a file mode. Then we are going to write, and one more thing we must understand, that the write function does not include by default \n character, the end of line character. That end of line character is specifically explicitly it has to be written along with the string. Otherwise in the file there won't be any new line character. So as I said, for numeric data value, conversion to the strings is required. Okay. So the next method is write lines method. With the write method, we can write only strings, but all the sequence data types, that is string, tuple or list, can be written into the file with the help of write lines. Okay. So examples we are going to see very shortly. So for examples, I will be opening my Jupyter notebook, and in that one we are going to see all the examples. So now we are going to see some examples of file handling. As a first example, reading a file using read line. So the file is opened. In the first line, file equal to open, then the file path. First of all, I will show you this file. So the name of the file is poem.txt. So this is the text file which is present. So I am going to open this and read it. Okay. I am using the Jupyter notebook. I am using the Jupyter notebook because in this I can directly show you the coding as well as the output very easily. So now to run, just I have to click on run. Now you can see the output. So the entire file is printed here. Why? Because I am reading the complete file using read line. So what exactly I did? Here in this line I have opened the file, then I began with the infinite loop because I don't know how many lines are there in the file. Now in this line I am reading the file line by line. I don't know when the last line will come, and the only indicator that I am having for the last line is that it will be a empty string. That means its length will be 0. So I am checking for it. Okay. So with this command, with this statement, that if length of line is equal to 0, then the loop should break. Otherwise, it should be printed. Note that here I have given the end parameter as blank. Okay. Now what I will do, I will remove this one. Okay. Now let us see what is the output. So as I had told you earlier, okay, you will be getting two line spaces, whereas only one line space should be coming. So that is why what is suggested, that when you are using this print, so you should use the end parameter as blank only. Again I will run. So now you can see, now the line space is single line space only. Okay, I hope this program is clear. Now we are going to the next one. Same file we are going to open using read lines. Okay, so what I have done, file is my file handle or the file object, whatever you want to say, equal to open. This file I am opening. Now the entire content is getting read into the text. What is text? It is a list. Then I have given the command to print this list. So now I am running. Let us see what is the output. So as expected, you can see that a list is printed, okay, which is a list of strings where each and every string is terminated with a new line character. Okay, so this is how we read the file using read lines. The third program to illustrate the reading of file is by using the read function. Okay, now here what I am doing, at a time, first I am reading the first 20 characters. Okay, and after that I am printing the next 30 characters. So in between, to see that there is a difference, okay, what I am doing is I am giving some markation, okay, some demarcation I am doing, so that we can see the first part and the second part. Okay, so in the first part, text is going to read 20 characters and then it is going to print. Further, the text is going to read next 30 characters and then it is going to be printed. Now let us run and let us see what is the output. So you can see first 20 characters are read first, okay, followed by this demarcation line, and after that next print statement, next read statement is, and after that next print statement. Okay, now the next program, what we are going to do is illustrate the read function to read the full file. Okay, so text equal to file dot read, print text. Now we will run. Now you can see that the output is string, not like if I go up with the read lines output, you can see this was the output for read lines, whereas this is the output for read. Both are totally different. Okay. So this was for the how to read the files. The next step we are going to see is how to write into the file. So this program is going to write. Okay. So first of all, I am opening a file.txt. So let us do something. I'll put into the same path so that it will be easier for us to locate it. So I am storing the file in E drive. And quickly I will check whether there is any file named as file. Okay, so there is no file named as file here. Again I will go back. Now I am going to run this program. This program, first I am going to write two strings into the file, and then I am going to read those two. Okay, read that file and I see what is there in the file. Now you can see that this is the output produced from the code. Okay, again I am going to go to my folder and I am going to check, yes, this file is here. Okay, now very quickly I will open this file to see the content. So you can see what we had given is written into this text file. Okay, so these were the basic examples. Now practical examples means the questions which you are going to get in the exam, that we have to see. Okay, all these programs were little beginner programs only. Now we are going to move ahead, right? So the first program is count the number of characters in the text file. Okay, so as a solution, what are the steps? The first step is open the file, obviously reading mode. Then we are reading that file using the read function, and then we are taking the length of the string, and that is the equal to the number of characters in the text file. Okay, so again I am opening a file story.txt. Okay, so let us see what happens. So we can see the number of characters in the text file as 973. Okay, so let us again print this file also. So for that one I will simply issue the command print data, and then I am going to run it again. Wow, excellent. So you can see that the story is printed and the number of characters in the text file is 973. Okay, next program we are going to see is a program that reads a text file and it counts the number of times a certain letter appears in the text file. For example, how many times the character A is coming, how many times the character X is coming, like that. So first step, obviously we have to open the file in the read mode. Then we have to read each line from the file and then we will be splitting the line to form a list of words. Okay, then we will use a nested loop, the outer loop to traverse through the words in the list and the inner loop to traverse through the letters in that word. Okay, so that we can go to each and every character. This is not the only way to solve. There are many ways of solving a problem in Python. Okay, this is one of the ways. Okay, of course you can get a better way. Okay, so but still, so you can see here the file name is this. Okay, so here L is the letter which we are going to search and we are going to count. Now this is another method of reading the file line by line without using the read line. That is, we are iterating over the file. Okay, so with open fname comma r as f for line in f, that is the reading file line by line, then words equal to line dot split. Now words will become a list. Okay, for I in words and for letter in I, if letter equal to our desired letter, then the count will be incremented, and finally we'll get the how many times this particular letter has come. Okay, so now we are going to run this program. So enter the letter to be searched. Let us say I am searching for small a. So the small a has occurred 58 times, right? Now the next program is removing multiple spaces. Okay, suppose the text file is having some areas in which there are more than one space and we have to edit the file. Manually we cannot do it, it's a tedious process, so we can use Python. Okay, so the method is very simple. What we are going to do, we are going to read a line. That line we are going to split. The splitting will ignore multiple spaces, and then we are going to join. And when we are joining, we will give the delimiter as a space character. Okay, so first of all, again I will be opening the same file on the same path. Okay, so I am not having any file named as out. First of all, I will open my poem. Okay, now here what I am going to do is I am going to introduce some multiple spaces at random locations. Now I am saving this file and then I am going back to my program. You can see from the my folder view there is no file named as out because I have not created. Now I am going to run the code. Something happened? Nothing happened, no output. Yes, there is no output, but there is output. Why we can't see any output? Because we have not given any print statement. Okay, so whatever has happened in the level of file. So what we are going to do, we are going to the folder and you can see out is created. Now I am going to open this file. So you can see wherever there were spaces, all the spaces are removed. Okay. Now the next program is to count the occurrence of a word in a text file. this question, when C++ was in the syllabus, this question was sure shot question. Okay. So again the same thing we have to do, that is open the file, then what the word is to be counted, read each line from the file and split the line to form a list of words, then check if the word is there, then increment. Okay, so you can understand, you please go through the program, you can understand it. Here I have taken fname as a file handle and the word is the input word. Then I am opening the file, then I am traversing the file line by line, I am splitting it each line and then I am checking whether the word is present in that list or not. If it is there, then the counter is incremented by 1. So now let us run this program also. Let us say I am using the word is. So in this program, we are going to count the occurrences of a word in a text file. We will proceed in the previous way. We will read the each line from the file and then we will split the line to form a list of words. Then we will check whether the word which we are searching is present or not. If it is present, then we will increment the count by 1. So I am going to run the program. The word to be searched, let us say, is is. So we can see that the word is has occurred only once in this file. Okay. Now the next program which we are going to see will demonstrate the writing into the files. Okay. So for that one, first I will go to the folder because I am going to have a file test.txt, so I should check whether this file is present there or not. So this file is not here. So now I am going to run this program. Okay. So I am going to run. As I run, you can see that some output has come as 12. Now what is this 12? That wasn't expected. Okay. And I have included a command that see the file in File Explorer. So let us go to the File Explorer and let us see the file. Okay, so the test file is there, but hey, what is this? 0 KB. Let us open this file. The file is blank. Why the hell this file is blank? Any reason you can tell why this file is blank? Yes, you got it right, because we have not closed that file. So we have to close it. So I am writing the code, my file dot close. Okay, again I will run this program. Okay, so you can see that there is no number written now. Okay, and now Let us again go back to the, you can see in the folder the file is having some size, and now I am opening it. So you can see that the two lines are there, but these lines does not include any space. Why is it so? Okay, because as I told earlier that with the right we have to give the new line character explicitly. If we don't give the new line character explicitly, then it will not be coming. Okay, so now I am adding here the new line character and I am running the program again. Okay, nothing will happen here. Again, yes, whatever I am writing I can see in two different lines, right? Now I am going to demonstrate right lines. Okay, see only two programs are remaining, so have patience. Okay, so here what I am doing, again the same thing I am doing. I have created a list and now I am going to write that list into the file. The file name is fruit. Okay, so let us run this and then let us see what happens. Nothing has happened here because whatever will happen to the file. So now fruit, here it's fruit. Yes, okay, whatever I wanted to write I have written. Next I am going to append into the file. Okay, so again what I have done is I have taken okay, again I have taken some names of the fruits, right, and now I want to write them into the file. Okay, so now you can see I am opening the file in the append mode, right? Again file has to be closed properly. So now I am going to run this program. Okay, so nothing happened here. We'll go back and the fruit. So the addition is done. So children, this was about file handling. Okay, text file handling. So in this first volume I have discussed about the text file handling. In the next volume I will be discussing about the binary file handling. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed till now and press the bell icon. Write some comments if you want to. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.